So you probably gathered the theme today, at least partly, is interacting with data. We've looked at what's new on this page, and we looked at how we might search for data on mobile applications. Well, now let's take a look at how we might manipulate data in a way that's just truly amazing. Let me show you. And now I'm here with Hrvoje Benko and Jonathan Fay. Hrvoje, we're going to be seeing something called the Omniprojector. Tell me a little bit about this project.
Right, so we started by actually noticing around the company that there's more and more omnidirectional data available. And we really went out to explore how best to both visualize it and interact with it. When we actually noticed that, we approached Jonathan, who is the developer and creator of the Worldwide Telescope project, and that's actually a great example of an omnidirectional data source, and we approached him to get that information and to use it in our new project here.
Yeah, Jonathan, I'm sure you have lots of fans out there. The Worldwide Telescope is truly amazing. How did you get involved in this particular project?
Well, so when Andy and Benko came and started talking about this idea of projecting in the dome, we had been working with adding a planetarium, a full dome projection to Worldwide Telescope, so this was a perfect opportunity to figure out how we could advance the user interface. Worldwide Telescope is data that goes all the way from a human scale to the entire large-scale structure of the universe, going back, 13 billion years to the Big Bang. And so this type of data requires a tremendous amount of dexterity to be able to navigate through all of this. And so this was a perfect opportunity to be able to provide both a really fabulous presentation environment as well as that flexibility of being able to immerse yourself in it.
And of course, you know that my interest is clinical medicine. We visited Microsoft Research in the past and looked at some of Andy Wilson's work around Surface, which now has found its way into clinical medicine. I understand that this too could have some implications for clinical medicine down the line.
Well, one of the things that we've looked at in Worldwide Telescope is how to apply it to other things aside from astronomy. So we've looked at taking like the models of the human body, CAT scans, CT scans, etc., and being able to merge them together the same way that we do with space data and Earth data and these immersive panoramas, so that you could essentially have medical teaching using things like the Visible Human Project and such.
All right, well, Hrvoje, let's go inside and take a look.
Sure, let's do it.
We've now moved inside the Omniprojector. This is really interesting, Hrvoje. Tell me what we're seeing.
Well, so we are inside of a kind of custom-built dome, and we're using the technology down underneath here, which is basically a projector and a camera combination together with a very wide-angle lens. Now, this allows us to project pretty much 360 degrees around us to immerse us in this visualization environment. And also, because there's a camera inside, it allows us to manipulate this data using normal standard freehand gestures above the projector. So what you can see here is if I reach in and if I literally pinch the sky, I can move us around. I can navigate around what this is Saturn right now that we are viewing. So this pinch becomes a very simple interaction method that one can use to literally navigate the space. You can also put two pinches together and then use standard kind of zooming interactions that you probably saw in Surface or other multi-touch tables. And so these kind of simple primitives allow us to then do this kind of fancy interactions around the omnidirectional projector. What we are going to do now is actually take us on a little tour of the universe. So Jonathan told you about the scales of data, and what you're seeing here is actually now we're leaving the solar system, we are traveling, and soon the stars are going to start moving because we're actually leaving now our galaxy. And I hope that you can capture this, but we're kind of engaging warp speed, and now you're actually seeing our Milky Way galaxy here. And now the known cosmos is starting to show. So each one of these dots is not actually a star anymore. It's actually the full galaxy. We're really kind of getting to the outskirts of the known universe. And now, again, you can use same interaction techniques to navigate this data and really immersively feel it and explore it.
All right, now you've applied this to things other than the universe, and in fact, this can even be applied to something as relatively simple as graphing.
Sure. So we applied it to a lot of different things. One is, for example, we can look at the omnidirectional imagery of kind of panoramic imagery. So we can say the lobby of our building. Building 99. And right now we're getting loaded in a panoramic image of the downstairs lobby, and this is a very high resolution image which you could explore using the same way. So this is our front desk and a coffee shop here on the right, etc. We also mapped it to a graph visualization data, so graph demo. By the way, I'm using speech to navigate this environment just so that my hands are free for interactions. And it also, speech is not triggered all the time. It's really, I create this special gesture, kind of I put my two hands together and then I can say a speech command just to navigate the space. But for example, this is a graph layout of my social network from Facebook. So it looks a little bit messy, but it's continuously updating layout. And it's interesting because now that we're immersed in this space, we can actually use the scale of this environment to explore different data. So I can be looking at one side while you could, in the same time, look at the other side, and we can still talk face to face without any encumbering. We're not wearing any special devices. We're not doing anything special, and using simple interactions the same way that I showed at in the Worldwide Telescope demo.
And again, when I first heard about this, I was really thinking about the ways that it might be used in clinical radiology, for example, or another thing, certainly medical education and teaching, this sort of three-dimensional way to manipulate large amounts of data.
Right. So I think there's two aspects of this. One is the omnidirectional explorations of data, and one is kind of this freehand interactions. I think in many environments where kind of touch is not necessarily the most sanitary way of doing things, like operating rooms and things like that, it might be really interesting to really explore effective ways of interacting without actually touching, with kind of freehand gestures in mid-air, but still being able to express and navigate large amounts of data, whether they're omnidirectional or not. I think it's possibly both.
Well, Hrvoje, thanks a lot. That was really terrific, great demonstration, and gets my imagination really going. I know our viewers will appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank our hosts here at Microsoft Research for all the things they've shown us today, just an example of the hundreds of projects going on at Microsoft around the world. Who knows, some of these things may one day find their way into clinical medicine. Until next time, for all of us at Microsoft, I'm Dr. Bill Crounse. Thanks for watching.